Hey guys, what's up? Jester here. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I track things in After Effects using MOCHA. This is actually really simple, and you see this in my two recent edits where I track an explosion behind things, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. So hit the subscribe button, it helps me out a lot. Drop a like on the video, and let's get right into this. So I'm here in After Effects, and as you can see, I have my clips synced, and yeah, I also have a depth map. We'll be talking about that later. If you want to put let's say an explosion behind something, you can use depth to accomplish that, so we'll talk about that in a bit. But let's start off with the basics. So once you have your clips synced to the beat, you know where you want the action to take place. So for this video, it's just an explosion right here. I'll label this. So I'm going to show you guys my sync real quick. As you can see, I have the clip synced right here to here, and I also want my explosion to take place right here. So keep that in mind. I'm going to show you this real quick.
I'm paper chasing, I ain't leave it till I stub it all. Bitch, I don't rock with I'm paper chasing, I ain't leave it till I stub it all.
My sync is really simple. My graph looks something like this on the clip. So yeah, let's get into tracking. So I have this green screen explosion right here that I'm going to be using to put behind the fence in the background. That's what I did in my recent edit. I actually put it right behind this fence. I'm going to show you guys how to do that, but you do need a depth layer for it. So we're just going to talk about tracking first, and then we'll get into that. For this edit, I actually want to sync the explosion to the beat, so I'm going to do that real quick. It should be really simple. You can sync it like any COD clip really, so I'm going to do that real quick. So now that I have it synced, I'm actually going to put a key light on it to get rid of the green screen. So all you got to do is type in key light in your effects, drag it on, and then click the green, then the green will be gone. So yeah, I synced it up to the beat real quick. I'll show you that.
Chasing, I ain't leave it till I stub it all. Bitch, leave it till I
I basically want it to explode right here where he says till I in the song. So yeah, now that that's synced, we can go ahead and track where I want this to be. So in order to do that, I'm actually going to turn off the layer real quick, and all you want to do is in your After Effects effects over here, type in MOCHA, and then this should pop up, MOCHA AECC. Drag that on your clip, and then we can actually click right here where it says MOCHA, and then this window will open. Don't freak out, it's actually really simple to work with. All you want to do is get a square, and after you select that square, what you want to do is track something on the screen that like resembles the camera movement. So I'm gonna do the sky over here. That's like a really good place for me to track, I guess. So I'm just gonna go ahead and draw a square, and from there this blue marker here will pop up, and all you want to do is click track backwards. You can see it'll track all the frames backwards, and then you can go back to this point and then track forwards, and you'll see that everything that gets tracked turns blue, and you'll see that that square is now tracked to the video. So that'll give me a good footing on where to track my explosion. And then from there you want to go to File, Save Project, and then you can now exit out of this. And then yeah, that's the first step. Second step would be going to Layer, New, and then Null Object. You can also press Ctrl-Alt-Shift-Y. That's gonna give you this little red bar. You can trim it to size, and then you're gonna see this little red box on the screen. So basically what we're gonna be doing is tracking this red box to that track point we made, which is somewhere up here, and then we're gonna end up tracking the explosion to the red box. So that's basically how this works. And what you guys want to do is go on your clip, come down in MOCHA tracking data, create track data, select layer 1, that's the layer we have right now, click OK. You're gonna see all these points pop up right here, and you're also gonna see that square appear on the screen right here, as you can see. So to apply all this tracking data to this null object, we're gonna go right here where it says corner pin. We're gonna set it to transform, and then we're gonna press layer export to and click null 1. Now after you select null 1, which is layer 4, you can actually confirm that by looking at right here. It says layer 4. Click apply export, and then you'll see that all the tracking data, if you press U on the null object, it will transfer over to the null object. Now from there, we can go to our explosion, which is right here. We can make that visible now, and then we can go to transform, and then what you want to do is parent position to the position of the null object, and as you can see now it's tracked. So if I go over here, you'll see that it's like tracked, but it's a bit more still on the video to the right. So here's a better example of like how it tracks. Now I'll put my explosion back where I wanted it to be, make sure that it moves with the video, I guess. Well, I made sure that it tracks, and it does. So in order to move this, we can actually play with the anchor point. So I know that I want my explosion to be somewhere like down here, maybe like rotation of 1, so it follows this like grid right here. And yeah, I'm just gonna move it around, maybe scale it up, make it bigger. And yeah, just play with the anchor point and get it where you want it to be. So I'm gonna have it about right there. So play your video a few times, see if that's where you want it to be. And now that's actually how you track things with MOCHA. It's super simple. And yeah, now we'll move on to the next thing. So make sure that you actually hide this null object so you don't have a red box on your screen. And then after that, watch your video a few times, make sure that that's where you want it to be. And then after that, we can get into the depth layer and putting this explosion behind that fence. So now that I have my depth layer imported to AE, I'm actually going to copy and paste the sync onto this layer. And I'm just going to match it up because my depth and my cinematic match up perfectly. So this shouldn't be a problem at all. And then we're just going to play it back and make sure that it works. So that looks pretty good. So what you guys want to do with depth is move it on top of the normal layer. Right on top of it is preferred. And then after that, what you guys want to do is get a black and white from the effects tab, drag that onto your depth, and then also get a levels, and then drag that onto your depth as well. So what you guys want to do with levels is play with these little triangles till you select what you want. So I'm actually going to select the background, so I'm just going to make everything black and drag this all the way to the right. You can select different things, like let's say I want to select the player. I can move this, and then I can probably move this triangle and just get the player right there. If you play with this a bit more, it'll get more sharp. But I just want it to be simple, and I'm just gonna get the background right there. So that's what I do with my depth. So what you guys want to do is move the explosion under the depth map now, and then click this little none right here. If it doesn't show up, go down here to toggle switches / modes, click that until this shows up, click none, and then click Luma Matte Depth. Now it's important that this explosion clip is under depth because you can only Luma Matte to what's above it, if that makes sense. So this explosion clip is going to Luma Matte to depth, and it shows up here because depth is on top of my explosion clip. So that's how that's arranged. And as you can see, now the explosion does play in the background. Let's say I don't like where that's at, I can easily go into the scale and anchor point, and I can play with it and change it around to how I like it. Let's say I want it to be a bit more down. So yeah, you can play with that. And now let's watch our clip and see what it looks like. So I know that I need to enable frame blending because it looked a bit looked like it had some frame drops in it, so I turned that on now. Now let's see how it looks. Also, if you don't like the way that you synced it, you can also change that really easily. All you'd have to do is just move your sync points over, which I'm going to do right now. So I'm just going to resync the explosion until I like it. So I'm just going to resync the explosion until I like it, and that's basically it. So now that I like the way that it's synced, I can go ahead and add a DOF blur. It's actually really easy to do. All you want to do is duplicate your depth layer and then turn it on so you can see it. And then after that, add an adjustment layer under it and cut it to size. So now that I have that cut to size, I can Luma Matte this adjustment layer to the depth layer just like that. And then I can add, let's say, a camera lens blur. Drag it on my adjustment layer. And yeah, you'll see that the background is now blurred. So yeah, it's as simple as that. And let's say you want to have animated DOF to where this guy's in focus and then the explosion's in focus like my edit. All you want to do is just add an invert onto the depth layer. And then yeah, you can see it inverts what is selected for it to blur. So I'm actually going to turn the blur down a bit. And yeah, all you want to do is animate this blend with original. So basically, if we turn on the depth, you can see what it really does. It just inverts the colors like this. And yeah, that's how Luma matting works. And if you want the DOF to be animated, you just animate this invert right here. Like that. And then it would switch over to what's in focus. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's really easy to do. So yeah, might as well just throw it in. So yeah, as you can see now, if I turn up the blur, the DOF does animate, so this guy's in focus, and then as you go down the timeline a bit more, now the explosion's in focus. It's actually that simple to do. I don't recommend using camera lens blur. but I'm just using that for tutorial sake. So yeah, that's basically how I tracked everything in my recent edits. Now if you guys want, you can just comp this whole thing and then add pan crop and all that stuff, like a CC and everything. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit that subscribe button. This was a lot of fun to make. Hopefully you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I'm paper chasing, I ain't leave it till I stub it all. Bitch, I don't rock